Mazda CX-30. Mazda 3's bigger brother on steroids, because it's now an SUV. Because it's a Mazda, of course, it's got a beautiful front. These new generations are just, well, you say wow. And another thing, despite the fact that these are LEDs, the blinkers have a fade out feature. And on the side of the car, you've got this almost comically huge plastic part, which visually makes the car chunkier and bigger than it is. Despite this being a Mazda, like I said before with the front, not so sure about the back. I mean, it kind of looks like somebody crashed into the car here and then they said, yeah, we'll leave it like that. I do really like these lights though. I do have to admit the CX-30, positioned in size between the CX-3 and CX-5, slowly grew on me, even the rear. Well, I'm not really lucky with the weather today. It's a bit dark, foreboding, and rainy. But at least you can see the car from the outside in nice weather, right? So that's a plus. And despite what I said right at the beginning, that I don't really care for the rear of this Mazda or the large plastics on the sides, it is definitely still very much a Mazda, a new Mazda in here. Like the Mazda 3, it's got this wonderful steering wheel, which is slightly thicker and soft. It's got the wonderful button switch. I love pressing because they feel so good, so high quality and mechanical. All of the buttons really in the car have this really good feel to them. The instrument cluster is pretty much like the Mazda 3. The 6-speed manual is fantastic to use. It is so satisfying to change gears. Really good job on that Mazda. And really everything you touch is either soft or nice looking, or it gives you a feeling of high quality. Except I do have one minus here. Everything that you touch is soft, but like this stuff on the dashboard, it's soft for the first couple of millimeters, and then you can feel that it's hard again because they didn't put a lot of foam or whatever they put in there. So I would like a bit more softness there. I know this is probably nitpicking, but you know, it's soft, but it's not soft enough, but that's just the fact, you know? I know you're not going to be touching it all the time, but it would be nice to have that, ooh, supple, soft feeling of high quality. My colleague took this car for a shorter trip, and he said he didn't like the seats, that they weren't very comfortable, that he had some problems with his back afterwards. Well, personally, I don't agree with that. Of course, this is all subjective, but we have to remember something as well. He does have problems with his back generally, and I believe that right now his back is giving him problems as is, so that probably made things a lot worse than they are. Personally, I think these seats are pretty damn nice. They're quite soft, they're nice, they sort of mold themselves around you, and they're not like some of those sporty seats which grab you pretty much, claw their way into your sides, and you're just thinking to yourself, am I ever going to get out of this thing again? No, it's very nice, comfy. The only thing that I feel right now, actually, even though I have everything set on 21 degrees and outside it is 14 degrees, I already feel myself slightly sweating on the seats. So with the leather, it would be nice to have some sort of well, cooling of the seats, which it's not really available. You have heating of the seats available, and heating of the steering wheel. Now, yes, this is more of a test about how this car looks and so on, because in essence it is the same Mazda. It's a Mazda 3 inside, it's got the same engine and so on and so forth. But I would still like to talk a little bit about technology and the engine itself. About, well, the tech, you've got a lot of it. I'm not going to go into many details, but for example, the 360 view cameras, they're very, very nice because the front and rear cameras are so high resolution. You've got the head-up display, which is just brilliant. I love the fact that Mazda is doing this instead of that stupid little piece of plastic on which you're supposed to see the... Whoa, come on, it started really raining now, pouring. Okay, geez, settle down. Anyway, the engine. The start-stop system is really interesting, like I said before, because it, you can barely feel it working. And the engine is a 2-liter petrol non-turbocharged engine, which I already had in the Mazda 3 and many times before as well. So we know this engine. But there's two things. We're now no longer used to non-turbocharged petrol engines. At least over here in Europe, pretty much everything and your dog is turbocharged. If you've got a diesel engine, yeah, that I don't think you can even buy a diesel engine without a turbocharger. And the petrol engines, even the tiny 3-cylinder ones, are turbocharged. So to have something like this, a 2-liter engine without a turbocharger, is quite interesting. And like I said before, you don't get the torque or the huge power that you get in a turbocharged engine, but you also don't get the turbo lag. If you want to drive sportily, you'll have to keep it in high RPMs, which, by the way, it goes up to 7,000 RPMs, which is the red line, but it does let you go there. So it's pretty interesting, and you can have fun with it. It sounds pretty good as well. Here's the thing, if you want to drive very economically, very, calm and nice and safe, it is such a sweet engine. Right now, my fuel consumption is 5.3 liters per 100 kilometers. 5.3 in a 2-liter engine. I mean, I was driving fairly carefully, but that's pretty good. I mean, that's fantastic for a 2-liter engine with over 120 horsepower. That is very good. And of course that's down to the fact that, well, 1, I'm driving economically, 2, it's got the cylinder deactivation and so on and so forth. But what I want to say is, if your goal is not to drive like a maniac every day, if you just want it for some city driving or whatever, it is such a sweet engine. I mean, generally the car is just so sweet. It drives nice, it's comfortable, it's high quality, the engine is just very sweet. I don't know, Mazda just did a really, really good job on this. So in the end, the question is, would you buy this Mazda CX-30? Well, if you've driven or you were in a Mazda 3, then this is pretty much the same thing, except in SUV form. So if you really like the Mazda 3, but you wanted an SUV and you didn't want a CX-5 or a CX-3, this is great. This is perfect for you because, like I said, it's just such a sweet, sweet car. Everything is so sweet. The manual gearbox, the steering wheel, the seats, the engine, just how it drives. Every time I drive it, I just find myself smiling. It's like, wow, this is so nice. The base Mazda CX-30 can be yours for 22,000 euros. If you'd rather have the fully equipped one with the new Skyactiv X engine, all-wheel drive and automatic transmission, you'll be paying 36,000 euros.